Hello and welcome to the final episode of the Spartan Show. I'm Preston T. Wright. This week we are visited by members of the softball and baseball teams, as well as our senior Spartan Show staff. Stay tuned for this special senior edition of the Spartan Show.
Laurren Ladwig joins us this evening in the studio. Laurren, take us back through the conference tournament games last weekend. What are some of the highlights for the Spartans?
We came out really strong in the first game, and we were down all the way up to the 7th inning, and then Mandy Boggs hit a double and scored 2 runs for us, tied it up, but we just couldn't put that extra oomph in, and we ended up losing in the 7th inning. But then we were ready for the next game, and we just didn't have it. But we played really well in the first game, and it was really good for us.
It's great to hear. As you now look back at your career in the season, what will be some of the things you'll remember most about this season in your collegiate career?
Just playing with my teammates during every game and stepping out on the field with them. That's one of the things that I'm going to miss the most is Florida. Every game you play with them, you know, you're with them every day, and it's something that you're not a part of anymore. But I'll definitely come back and watch them play. It'll be exciting. They should be pretty good next year.
Laurren, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Our final Spartan Show MVP is senior Stephen Piznarski. He was named the HCAC Pitcher of the Week for April 30th to May 6th. Piznarski struck out 10 while allowing only 5 singles and surrendering 2 walks during the matchup against Earlham. Congratulations, Steve.
Joe Gallatin now joins us. Now, Joe, nice end of the year stretch, taking your team to the conference tournament berth. What do you feel has been the biggest key to making that run?
I feel like the biggest key for our team was the energy we brought to the field. Because when we played at Defiance, I think it's safe to say we were sort of dead. We didn't have any energy. But these last 2 or 3 games or so, we just had a whole new energy, a whole different purpose on the field. We knew that we had to compete in order to make the tournament, and we brought that energy and we did what it took. We did what it needed to be done.
All right. What are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Just staying hot. The last 2 series we played against Transylvania and in Earlham, we played really good baseball. So just looking forward to keeping that going on the field.
All right. What's been the most important thing that you've learned this year?
What I learned this year was how resilient this team is. This program has a history of winning, but when you're 8th in the conference, it's easy just to give up and say better luck next year. Just come back next year, try to make the tournament. But we didn't do that. We stuck with it, and we ended up making the tournament.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Baseball player Jordan Hilyard now joins us. It was a nice end of the year stretch for your team to allow a conference tournament berth. What do you think you feel was the biggest key to making that run?
We had some of the older guys step up. We have a lot of juniors and seniors that play on the field at once. Probably the biggest thing was pitching. Senior pitchers really stepped up in the last couple weeks, and that's what gave us the push to get into the tournament.
All right, and what are you most looking forward to this weekend?
I'd say just going out, playing for each other, playing hard. It's always a lot more fun when everyone's bought into the game, everyone's intrigued. So.
All right, and as the season winds down, what have the most important things that you've learned from this year?
Probably that it's more than baseball. You got 30 guys, 30 brothers on your team that you go out and you want to play well for. You want to have their back at all times. It kind of teaches you accountability and you have to step up even when you're having a bad day. You have to keep pushing through and perform well. That way you don't let the rest of the team down.
All right, thank you for joining with us.
Thank you.
Peter Shepard now joins us, and your team made it to the berth in the conference tournament. What do you feel was the biggest key to getting to that run?
Yeah, I felt like the biggest key for us in those last couple weeks has been just playing as a team, playing loose, really going out there and not really fearing things. So just going out there and playing our game and keeping it simple and having fun. I think was the biggest key for us.
All right, and what are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, I'm most looking forward to competing. Franklin and the teams in our conference that we're going to have to get through are really good teams, and I'm looking forward to just the competition aspect and having to play really, really well and playing hard.
So as the season comes down here to an end, what's been the most important thing you've learned this year?
Yeah, one of the most important things I've learned this year is friendship. there are a lot of guys on this team that I've built friendships with that will last me not only the baseball season, but for years to come. And I've learned to really treasure that and hold that dear. I've made a lot of friends over the course of my 4 years, and so that is what I think I've learned the most throughout my 4 years.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you for joining with us.
Thanks.
We begin our weekly highlights segment with the men's tennis team. This past weekend, they competed in the HCAC semifinals, where they managed to take 2 of 3 doubles matchups over the Franklin College Grizzlies. Junior Connor Eichenauer and freshman Isaac Miller were 8-3 victors at the second spot, and the senior combination of Kyler Love and Garrett Bear proved strong again, winning for a 3rd time in a row and improving to 8-3 with an 8-6 triumph. The Spartans' year concluded at 4-8, which was spotlighted by the 3rd league postseason tournament berth in the last 4 seasons and the program's best HCAC standing since 2003. The softball team traveled to Transylvania University last weekend for the HCAC championships. The program reached the event for the first time since 2015, forging a 5th place finish with 9 victories against what was one of the stronger league lineups in recent history. Beyond that, the team ended at 17-21 to note the 10th successive slate with double-digit triumphs. The 33 Big Flies set a new single-season program record, while the slugging percentage was only 8 points shy of the 2015 squad for the best. Individually, Laurren Ladwig made the home run category for the school and the HCAC, as her 19 single-season bombs were new bests for both, and her 44 career round-trippers were tops for MU and among the HCAC's most. This week, Manchester University's Student Athlete Advisory Committee and the M Association honored the best athletes of 2017-2018. Among the many highlights of a festive evening, senior softball player Laurren Ladwig and senior football player Dakota Nelson were named Athletes of the Year. The team captains also led the fight song to start the ceremony.
We are now joined by our own Blake Moore and Ethan Foster. Both are seniors that have spent the last 4 years working for the Sports Information Department and for the Spartan Show as show hosts. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your contributions to the department and to the show. So both of you had internships this semester. Let's start with what you did and what was your favorite part of the internship.
I'll go ahead and start. So as Ethan and I will both mention, we both actually ended up being located in Fort Wayne this past semester. And for me, I was interning with the Indiana Tech Sports Information Department. Indiana Tech is an institution there in Fort Wayne, just outside the downtown area in the NAIA. And I was fortunate enough to actually work with a former Manchester University student and a sports information staff member in Tyler Stevenson. I was really appreciative of the opportunity to do that. I had a plethora of opportunities to do a lot of different things within the office. I was in charge of being able to do statistics, doing game recaps. I was involved with social media from time to time, taking photographs. It was really a comprehensive look into what sports information really is. And I think ultimately my favorite moment has got to be all the championship events that we got to host throughout this past season. So we were able to be fortunate enough to host the first ever WAC conference hockey tournament. We also hosted tournaments in bowling, lacrosse, baseball, softball, and basketball. So it was a very busy season, but that was a very impressive situation to be involved in, especially just how great those programs are and just be a part of that.
All right, Ethan?
Yeah, so I interned at a location in Fort Wayne, as well as Blake mentioned, called Turnstone Center. So it's a center for adults and children with disabilities, and I interned in the sports and rec department specifically. So I would help their sports and rec department put on all kinds of sporting events for individuals with disabilities, teams. They have a lot of wheelchair basketball, power soccer, things like that. And so it was like a really rewarding experience to like provide opportunities for people that may not otherwise get them. And I got a lot of experience in nonprofit sport management, which is kind of one of my passions.
Yeah.
And had the opportunity to be really in-depth role with the Endeavor Games, which is a national Olympic-style sporting event for individuals with disabilities. So overall, it was a really great experience, and I encourage anybody to volunteer at Turnstone if they get a chance. They're always looking for volunteers in all kinds of different arrays, from early learning centers to adult day services to sports and rec. So.
All right, well, great. Sounds like you both had good experiences with your internships. Both of you graduate next week, so what looking back, is your favorite memory, the most memorable time here at Manchester for you, both of you?
You can go ahead and start this time. For me, I don't know if Blake's going to go the same route as I am, but it has to be going. 2 Januaries ago, I went to Dublin and London with Dr. Hedstrom and some fellow sport management students and athletic training students. And for me, it's always been a dream to go to England, and then Dublin was just icing on the cake. And so we spent 2 weeks in those awesome cities just learning about sports and how the sport business world operates in Europe. And it was just one of the best experiences of not only my time at Manchester, but of my life so far. So
Great.
And I would definitely echo that. That's a great experience that I got to be a part of, as well as Ethan and Nick Baker, our other staff member. He's also been involved in that. And so, overall, being able to have that James Term experience was great. But for me, one of my best moments here at Manchester, I think, has to be the opportunity to be involved with the Sports Information Office on the day of the Manchester University defeat of Transylvania University in men's soccer. First time ever that we defeated them. And Ethan and I were actually there. We weren't really planning to be there at the time because we were working another event that day. We happened to come catch the end of the ball game, and then after the conclusion of the game, I got to sit down with Coach Corey Brueggemann and Josh Gonzalez, who scored the game-winning goal. And that was just a really great moment to witness, especially with how great that match was. It ended up going into overtime, and we won in a walk-off. That's the absolute best way to end the game.
Finally, let's talk about your plans after Manchester. What do you plan to do?
Sure. So right now, I'm currently looking at going into a graduate assistant position in sports information or athletic media relations, or continuing my career as a broadcaster. I've put out several applications to all these different organizations and institutions. Unfortunately, haven't come up with anything fully yet for plans after graduation, but I'm being optimistic, and hopefully I'll come up with a position here before too long.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in a similar boat to Blake. I've got a couple graduate assistant positions on the table kind of looking at, and I've also got applications all over the country and various places. So just kind of seeing where it goes and find out what I'm doing next fall and try to get in somewhere.
Awesome. Well, best wishes to both of you, and thank you again for everything that you've done for Manchester University Sports Information.
Thanks, Preston.
Thanks. We are now joined by 2 of our staff members who are always behind the camera, and that is Nick Baker and Terrence Banks. Nick, you have spent the last 4 years working for us, and Terrence, you've spent a year with us. Thank you both for your contributions to the Sports Information Department and the show. So Terrence, you interned here on campus for Spartan Stream and for the Sports Information Department. What were you able to gain from that experience that will benefit your future career?
What I gained from was the ability to work with the camera. I have never worked with the camera before, but working here for Spartan Stream and Sports Information, I learned the ability to work with the camera, the ins and outs of it, and also the ability to use Adobe Premiere, where I can edit videos. So now I can take that for my future experience and future careers.
Great. So Nick, you have worked for the department in a variety of roles, and this fall you will be continuing your education. How has your experience led to that decision, and what are you planning to do?
So in terms of experience, one thing I'll mention is with the past 4 years here at Manchester, I've learned so much about sports information and how sports are ran. For me, one of being sports analytics, I was able to understand not only how to do analytics in a way and inputting them for soccer, but how to incorporate that with other things that occur in the job, such as being able to get that data to the commentators during games and giving it to the coaching staff and the players. And my plan is to go to IUPUI and get my master's degree in sports analytics. And overall, from the past 4 years, I think that sports information has helped me further my sports analyst ideas into action. So that's one thing I would thank the Sports Information Department.
Great. And Terrence, what are your plans after Manchester?
My plans after Manchester is looking to apply some jobs in the sports information or video producing or even ticket sales. So I'm still out there applying. So if any organization need me, holla at your boy Terrence right there.
All right. Both of you graduate next week. What is the most memorable moment from your time here at Manchester?
Probably my favorite moment, other than the Dublin and London trip that me, Ethan, Blake Moore went to in January 2017, will probably be to see my brothers play for the Manchester men's soccer team for the past few years. I mean, as a brother, I'm very excited to see them play, and it just every time I see them play, it just makes me feel good and accomplish that I did something right as a brother.
Awesome. Terrence?
I like to say creating my show for Manchester, which is called Overrated versus Underrated. I got the opportunity to work with other people in the Spartan stream to create something that that came out of nowhere, and people is considered as one of the big shows on Spartan Stream's YouTube page. So I would like to say that's the most memorable moment for me at Manchester.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining us, and we wish you the best. We'd like to thank our guests for joining us today. To follow along with all of the Manchester Athletics news, stats, and scores over the summer, be sure to like us on Facebook by visiting facebook.com/Manchester Athletics, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MU Spartans, and visit our website, muspartans.com. On behalf of the Spartan Show staff, thank you for joining us this year, and be sure to stay tuned this fall for the launch of the new Spartan shows. Have a great summer.
Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. To watch our latest video, click the box here. To subscribe to our channel, click this circle.